My name is Geri Rosser, and I usually go to the traditional service, although when the choir was singing for both services, I would sneak in for the music on the 10:30, just so I could enjoy that as well. And then we've been coming for about 2.5 years. I'm a pastor's kid, so that has made life interesting along the way. Grew up in a parsonage for the most part, but my dad got out of ministry for about 6 years, so I was exposed to Christianity, obviously, but to church life from a different lens than a lot of people. And the things that happened to our family along the way kind of shaped my thinking about faith. I wasn't always sure of it, but I gave my life to the Lord when I was a child and continued all the way through college. When I got to college, it sort of morphed a little bit because I was hearing more about holiness and living a life of holiness. And I had an experience there at one of the services where the Lord really invaded my heart. That's not to say that He hasn't had to invade it many times since then, but it made a difference in how I thought about things, even with some of the strangeness going on in the background of hurts and things that I had to get over along the way. It's taken me this long to get through some of those things, but God has always been faithful, and He's been especially faithful in helping me to find a husband, because when I was in college, I was in no shape to choose a mate. And Greg and I met in a summer singing group that was sponsored by our denomination, and we ended up becoming very fast friends, but also much more interested in each other in a love relationship. And got married about 1.5 years later after I finished school. And he is probably the biggest blessing I have in my life, because he comes from a long line of faithful servants of God, and he emulates that so well. And it's a blessing because he's taught me things that I didn't necessarily learn at home or along the way, just by living it out in front of me, and that's awesome. So that's helped me to become more consistent in my walk, and hopefully helped me to teach others about walking in the way of faith as well. Well, I worked for a while at Mount Vernon Nazarene University, where I was on staff for the chaplain. I was the assistant to the chaplain for worship ministries. And so I was working with student-led praise teams and praise team leaders. And there I probably had the most opportunity to get to know those students and work with them and hopefully mentor them in the way of faith. And it was also a lot about worship and how to make sure that it's about God and not about any kind of performance. So I feel like that was probably the most rewarding time for me in terms of sharing my faith and living it out. But I mean, every day is an opportunity to share your faith if you're just open to it.